Greetings, Commanders, Cerebrits, and Executors. Our subject for today is mining, gathering resources. Mining or resource gathering can only be done by your worker unit. For the Zerg, that is the drone, for the Terran, that is the SCV, and for the Protoss, that is the probe. Your worker unit can always be built from your main base structure. Now, if you have a worker, the resources in this game are minerals and gas. Minerals being blue, these blue crystals right here, and this blue icon in the top right shows how many minerals I have next to it, 50 minerals right now. And Vespene gas is green. Vespene gas is extracted from these Vespene geysers that have green smoke coming out of them. And you see how much gas you have in the top right next to this green icon. I have no gas at the moment. In order to have a worker begin mining, we select the worker and we use the gather command. So left click on the gather command on the command card in the bottom right down here. And now we have to select some minerals by left clicking again on top of the minerals, and our drone will begin mining those minerals. Once it's got some minerals, it'll return them to the hatchery, it'll go back, it'll mine some more minerals, and this process continues. Every round trip, every time a worker returns to the main base, you get plus 8 minerals into your bank. Now, when we use the gather... Actually, no, let me just show you this. While the drone has minerals that it's holding, there is no gather command on the command card. It would have been right here. Instead, there is a return cargo command. And if we press that button, then the drone just heads back to the hatchery. Now, workers will automatically do the round of going to the minerals, mining minerals, bringing them back to your main base, and so on. They'll just keep doing that until they run out of minerals. We'll talk more about running out of minerals a little later. But return cargo is a useful button if for some reason you pulled a drone off mining while it had minerals, and then you need to get it to return those minerals to your main base so that it can keep mining. Now, minerals are relatively easy to mine. To gather gas, it's not enough just to use the gather command on the gas geyser. If we try to use the gather command by left-clicking on this and then left-clicking on the geyser, it doesn't work. The drone will not mine. To mine gas, you would have to first build a building on top of the gas geyser. It's a different building for each of the 3 races, but the way it works is the same. For the Zerg, the building you need is called the Extractor. For the Terran, it's called the Refinery. For Protoss, it is called the Assimilator. So if I make an Extractor on top of this Vespene geyser, we'll just wait for that to come up. But over here we have a Vespene geyser that I already built an extractor on top of. And this time I can just use the gather command, left click on the geyser, the drone will go into the geyser, and we'll get some gas that it's holding, bring that back to the hatchery, get some more gas, and so on. The process continues. Now, so far I've been left clicking explicitly on the gather and return cargo buttons for the workers, but you don't have to do that, and in fact, you really shouldn't. Right-clicking often functions as a shortcut operation. Depending on what you have selected and what you click on, when you right-click, the game makes guesses as to what result you want. And when you have a worker selected and you right-click on minerals or on a Vespene geyser, the game guesses that you want to try to harvest resources there. So if I have a drone, if I right-click on the minerals, the drone starts mining minerals. If I have a drone and right-click on the geyser, the drone begins mining gas. So you really don't want to be clicking this gather button in general. You want to be just right-clicking on the minerals or the gas. It's easier, it's faster. Now, resources in StarCraft are not infinite, or more precisely, minerals are not infinite. If you click on a mineral patch, you can see how much value is left in that mineral patch. If you click on this mineral patch that the drone is mining from, then every time the drone finishes mining a bit and carries some minerals back to the hatchery, this number goes down by 8. The drone is extracting 8 minerals worth of value out of this patch and giving it to us, and that ends up in our bank where we get 8 minerals of value for each return trip. Eventually, these minerals will run out of value completely. We have here a few very low value minerals. I'm just going to assign some drones to start mining those, so that we can demonstrate what happens when we run out of minerals. Because if the mineral field gets down to 0 value, it vanishes off the map completely. There are no more minerals to mine, there's no way to get more minerals once the patch vanishes. 1,500 minerals is how much a mineral patch normally has in it, but that doesn't last forever, so you need to keep expanding out onto the map, going further away, finding new places that have more value, that have more minerals available for you to mine. And eventually, theoretically, the entire map will get mined out if the game doesn't end sooner. Most StarCraft games end before the map gets mined out, but it certainly can happen. So you see one of those mineral patches just vanished, another mineral patch has vanished, these two will be gone pretty soon. Now, gas is actually an infinite resource, theoretically, but if you look at an extractor, you will see that there is a gas value for each Vespene geyser, and it goes down every time the drone extracts 8 gas and brings the 8 gas back to your main base. I'm going to assign these drones to start mining this extractor, this gas geyser, so we can see what happens when the gas value reaches 0, as it just did. So this extractor is now depleted. This gas geyser is depleted. Unlike minerals, when you run out of gas on a geyser, the geyser does not vanish. Instead, drones or probes or SCVs, whatever your worker unit is, continue to mine gas, and you continue to get gas being added to your bank, but instead of 8 gas per trip, you'll only get 2 gas per trip, 1/4 of the original value. So you can theoretically keep getting more gas forever by mining from these depleted geysers, but it's going to be very slow. If your opponent has fresh geysers that aren't depleted and you have only depleted geysers, chances are they're going to have so much more gas than you, they're probably going to win. So it's still in your best interests to seek out more geysers, just as you need to seek out more minerals. But minerals, there's a finite total amount of minerals on the map, there's an infinite availability to mine gas on the map. There is no way at all to replenish the minerals on the map. Once you've mined out a mineral patch, it's gone, there's no way to make another one. That is our initial introduction to mining resources in StarCraft. For the next episode, we'll talk about a few more advanced concepts of mining.